Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present about a very important topic that in my opinion hasn't had enough attention that it should have. And it is wildfires in Argentina, specifically in Paraná Delta. I want to start by saying that since the start of 2020, more than 18,000 fires have destroyed a significant part of Paraná Delta. But we need to first understand what actually is Paraná Delta. Paraná Delta, as its name says it, is the delta of the Paraná River in Argentina. It is a wetland with a unique biodiversity that covers around 18,000 square kilometers. Wetlands are really important for the environment, and they have a lot of environmental benefits. To start with, they control flooding, they absorb pollutants, and they improve water quality. So it is a shame that this area of Argentina is being destroyed at such a fast rate by the wildfires, affecting this ecosystem that is really important for the environment. So let's continue talking about the ecological significance of Paraná Delta. It has a huge biodiversity, especially of plants, but it has also a very big biodiversity of animals. It is a source of drinking water, mainly for a population living nearby. It mitigates the effect of climate change because, as I have mentioned, it absorbs pollutants. It reduces the water flow rate, also helping in flooding, and it's a short and long-term retention and storage of water. But what has happened? The fires are the most widespread and prolonged since 2008. So this obviously has affected the flora, the fauna, the soil, the water, and the air in this area. It also has the worst drought in 10 years and the worst river runoff in 60 years. So these combined create a very fertile ground that, combined with the hot temperatures caused by climate change, cause the fires to start really quickly and to spread at a fast rate as well. But what happened in 2020? The fires this year started in January. However, they started to peak the first 2 weeks of August. And it is estimated that since January, around 900 square kilometers of land has been really affected by the fires. And the fires obviously has devastating results. It results in animal deaths because many animals can escape the fires. It also results in the loss of natural habitats, so animals can't return to their home if they manage to escape, especially birds, and all of that biodiversity is completely ruined. Soil impoverishment, water and air pollution, and increase of emissions. Water and air pollution is a real issue for the population living nearby because after the fires, the air is contaminated a lot for weeks after, and the population is really affected by the pollution of the air. And the increase of emissions is also a real problem because, as we all know, when the trees and the plants burn, they emit CO2. So the amount of CO2 that is being released and emitted to the environment, to the atmosphere, it's huge and it's increasing every time that the fires start. However, it's not just fires what is contributing to a destruction of this ecosystem. Cattle ranching, industrial fishing, real estate development, poaching, drought, and a lack of fire management training are also contributing to a destruction of Paraná Delta. But you might be wondering what has been done about this since it started years ago, and each time it gets worse and worse and worse because of climate change. Several governments have gone by and haven't really issued this problem, and they have overlooked the territory. However, it is mentioned in this article that actually preventing the fires from starting, it's almost impossible because the fertile ground combined with extreme dry and hot climate, it leads to the start of these fires almost immediately, and it can be prevented and it can be stopped, but it requires a lot of effort to stop immediately after they have started. So what they suggest that the government should do is not to put their efforts in preventing these fires, because as I have already mentioned, it's almost impossible, but they should put their efforts in knowing how to control the fires once they start and stop them from spreading at such a fast rate. However, I was wondering, what should we do? And most specifically in this case, what should Argentinians do? So I was thinking, is it our responsibility to do something about this? I think that especially the people that is living nearby Paraná Delta, that is most affected should be thinking like, what should I do, or can I do something about this, and not wait for the government to wake up and to put their efforts in stopping the fires as soon as they start. And I think that people should look at their own culture and habits in general, but specifically in this case, Argentinians should look at their own culture and realize what is contributing for a destruction of this ecosystem apart from the fires. And the another main factor that is destroying this ecosystem is cattle ranching. And cattle ranching has increased a lot in the past 10 years, mainly because the demand for meat has increased drastically in Argentina. And Argentinians are have part of this fault because part of their culture and their habits is to eat a lot of meat, and they commercialize and export meat a lot. So this results in cattle ranching being having more demand, and this is why the cattle ranchers have settled in Paraná Delta, and they are destroying the not all the ecosystem, but part of it for the animals to be there, and they are impoverishing the land because they are overgrazing it. By the animals are overgrazing it, and the government is actually not doing anything about this because they benefit from the exportation of meat and also from the consumption of meat in the country. So I think that it is easy sometimes to ask for solutions when actually we are part of the problem. In this specific case, obviously, it's more about Argentinians and how they can control the next factor contributing to the destruction of Paraná Delta. Because if we can't manage and we can't stop and prevent the wildfires in this area, maybe we should try to target the other factor that is destroying it as well. That in this case is cattle ranching. But in general lines, talking about this topic in general, I think that people sometimes wait for big solutions and for others to do these solutions for them, when actually we need to, sometimes the solutions are looking us in the inside and knowing how can we change part of our lifestyles or habits and some parts of our culture to try to solve these problems that maybe can't be solved drastically because changing the culture and habits of Argentinians won't stop the wildfires, but it will help in some way to avoid the next factor that is destroying the land, that is in this case is cattle ranching. So this is an open question for any of you who wants to discuss it and to answer it. But I want to know if you think that in cases like this, where there are environmental problems and issues, is it our responsibility to do something about this, or should we wait for the government to act and to wake up and to manage these problems? Thank you.